Hey guys, today we're looking at fact families, which you guys use all of the time, whether or not you realize it, when you solve a division equation using a multiplication equation, So fact families are made of three numbers, okay, a big number and two smaller numbers that work together to write four facts. Three numbers make four facts. Those four facts have 1, 2 multiplication facts and 1, 2 division facts. So when you work with a fact family, you're really working with three numbers that make two multiplication facts and two division facts. Okay, let's take a look at an example of a fact family. So here's an example of a fact family, and it's represented as a house. In this fact family, they show us a triangle, and the largest number is at the top. This is common with fact families. When we write our three numbers that go together, we always put the largest number up top. And there's a reason for that you guys know. When you're writing multiplication and division equations, the largest number in the equation always has a specific place that it has to be, okay? So for example, when we're writing our multiplication equations, where is the largest number 24 going to be? Can we put 24 here? Can we put it here? That's right. We have to put the largest number in a multiplication equation in the product position. Okay, 24 is going to be the product of both of these equations because when you multiply, you're always finding the larger number. You're finding the product, right? And so that leaves us these other two numbers, 4 and 6, and we can use them to fill in the factor positions. So when you multiply, you can always use three numbers to write two different facts, right? We can use the numbers 4, 6, and 24 to write 4 times 6 equals 24. Or to write 6 times 4 equals 24, okay? Both of these facts are true because of the commutative property, and they both give us our largest number, 24, in the product position. Now let's write two division facts using these same three numbers, okay? Take a look at our largest and most important number, 24. When we divide, is 24 still going to go at the end of the equation? No. Right? When we divide, you guys know as a rule that the largest number 24 must come at the beginning of the equation. Okay, so now to start off our division equations, we've placed the largest number 24 in the dividend position. This is at the beginning of the division equation. Now we can take the two numbers that remain, 4 and 6, and we can use them to fill in the divisor and the quotient positions. So when you have 24 counters and you divide them by 6 groups, you end up with 4 counters in each group. Same thing if you were to start with 24 counters and divide them by 4 groups, you would end up with 6 counters in each group, okay? So take a look at our fact family. Notice that the red number is limited in that it can only go in the ending position or in the beginning position. And check out the way we switch the order of the two smaller numbers. Here they're called factors, and here they're called divisors, and then quotients. Let's take a look at some other ways that you can use fact families to solve different types of problems. Here we have the top of a fact family house. We have a triangle, but we're missing one of our numbers. Which number are we missing? A smaller number or the largest number? We're missing the largest number here in this fact family, right? So we don't know exactly what this number is, but we know it's going to be the biggest number here, okay? We can write a multiplication equation to help us solve this problem. We can use the two numbers we're given, 4 times 10, to help us find the largest number. Do you know what 4 times 10 is? If not, you can count by 10s 4 times, right? 10, 20, 30, 40. 4 times 10 is 40. So we know 40 must be the missing number in this fact family. Okay? And of course, you could go ahead and you could write out the rest of the fact family if you wanted to by switching the position of the numbers. There's your two multiplication facts, right? And then you could write the two division facts as well, taking your largest number and putting it at the beginning of the equation in the dividend position. Forgive my ugly handwriting. So if you had 40 and you divided it by 4 groups, you would have 10 in each group. And if you had 40 and you divided it by 10 groups, you would have 4 in each group. So there's a fact family, 3 numbers, create 4 facts, 2 multiplication, and 2 division. Let's take a look at the next example. So the next example represents numbers differently. Instead of using the triangle on the last page, it uses more of a number bond look, but it's the same basic idea. So again, we're looking at a fact family that's missing a number, but this time the largest number is given. Okay, it's the smaller number that we're missing. Okay, so we know 15 and 5, but we don't know what our smaller number is. So what you can do is, I would think of this as a division equation because they've given me the largest number first. 15 divided by 5, okay, can help us to find the smaller number, right? And we could do that like this. Let's draw 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go ahead and divide 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 3 counters in each group, so we know that the missing number is 3. Okay? If you're not as comfortable with division, you could also always write a multiplication equation and find your answer that way. So that would look something like this maybe. Something times 5 equals 15, because these are the numbers we've been given, right? 5 and 15. Do you know what times 5 is 15? You could count by 5s if you didn't. 5, 10, 15. If you count 5 3 times, you get 15, so we know the missing number must be 3. 3 times 5 is 15. And of course, you can go ahead and you can write the rest of the facts for this fact family. If 3 times 5 is 15, then we know that 5 times 3 also equals 15. And if 15 divided by 5 equals 3, then we know that 15 divided by 3 also equals 5. So there's my 4 facts for this fact family that uses 3 numbers, and my missing number was 3. Okay? Let's take a look at the last example. Select the multiplication equation that can help you complete the division equation below. So they show us an incomplete division equation, and we have some options to go ahead and fill it in. My advice to you is that you solve this equation before you look at the answers. Although it can be done more than one way, let's go ahead and solve the division equation first, because that's going to help us find the answer. So we have 20 divided by 5. That means we want to draw 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to put 1 in each group until we get to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. How many circles are in each group? 4, right? So we know 20 divided by 5 equals 4. This is really going to help us find the other fact that would belong in the same fact family as 20 divided by 5 equals 4. When we look at the first equation, right away we should see something wrong with this multiplication equation. Do you know what's wrong with letter A? It's that the largest number is in the factor position. You guys already know that when we multiply, okay, you can't have the biggest number here. It really should be here, right? So we know that this cannot be the correct answer. So looking at our other 2 options, this is where things get a little trickier if you hadn't already solved the equation. And I'm sorry for this mistake I made here. Let's read these 3 equations. 5 times 4 equals 20. 5 times 6 equals 20. And 5 times 7 equals 20. You guys know that all of these aren't true, right? If you're not 100% sure on your multiplication facts, like maybe you haven't been practicing as much as you should, this might be a little bit of a problem for you, right? You're going to have to test these to make sure they're true. Is 5 times 4 20? 5, 10, 15, 20. Yes, it is. We skip counted by 5s 4 times to find that 5 times 4 is 20. And we also can use what we know from up here and what we know about fact families to look at these numbers and realize that these are the numbers you're going to have in your factor positions. Okay? 5 times 6 equals 20. Is that true? Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No. If you count by 5 6 times, you're supposed to get 30. So we know that this fact is not true at all. That's just there to trick you. Take a look at the last one. 5 times 7 equals 20. Is it true? Let's check. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. When we count by 5 7 times, we get 35. So this fact isn't even true. Okay, it's here to trick you. And we know the correct answer must be B. When you guys work with fact families, there are a lot of different ways that you can start the problem to get to the correct solution. The most important thing for you to remember today is probably that when you're multiplying, your largest number is the product, which comes at the end. And when you're dividing, your largest number is the dividend, which comes at the beginning. Good luck on today's lesson.